Welcome back, you beautiful people, to another episode of Shisha Saturdays. It's me again, Carlos Carandang, and today, as you see from the title, I'm going to be reviewing the Avion Smart Hookah. First thing I want to say about the Avion is that it is a modular hookah. Pretty much all of the parts can be detached, and that's why now I'm gonna start by attaching it all and talking about every piece that I like here. So first things first, you might see the Avion looking like a bit of a small type of hookah, but it's actually quite heavy, and the main reason for it being heavy is this, the heart. So it says here the Avion's name, and then on the other side is actually Hussein, which means that this was actually made for a lounge here in the Philippines, and I borrowed it again from Sasan himself. So thank you, Hookah Shisha Central, for letting me borrow this hookah. But no, this is not a paid review. I'm not gonna say all the good things about it just because, you know, I was paid for it. I'm just gonna say what I really thought about the hookah itself. So there we go. This is the heart. I believe it was made from, I don't know, titanium or something that Hassan told me. That's just why this is very heavy. I don't have the exact weight for it, but it's very, very heavy. It's the heaviest part of the hookah itself. So the beautiful thing about the heart itself is that you can see there is the Perch valves, and it all goes up. You'll see it later. I already reviewed this before as a unboxing, but now spent a lot more time with it to really get the nitty-gritty of the hookah itself. So as you can see, that's where the Perch balls go, so that's what stops the whole thing from happening. And then we have the stem here, the upper stem, as I'd like to call it. That's already it. I mean, that's already going to make sure that it doesn't fall. And the grommet that they come with is, of course, made especially for the perfect fit with the base of the Avion and the down stem. So as you can see also here, that's where all of the holes go under. The middle would be a stem. The four that go on a square would be the purges, and this one on top is the hose valve, I guess, or the port. So you just screw it on here. And again, the beautiful thing about having a modular hookah is that you can clean it all the way through. So it's, you know, easier. You can use a smaller brush. Now going with the down stem, you can see here there are two lines. So this means that you can actually put a diffuser on it. The diffuser is a special design, I guess. It has a hole in the middle so that even if you use tobacco that falls through the stem, it will go through. It will not clog the diffuser, and you can clean it separately. So the thing here is, if you have the diffuser, that's why they have two lines. So with the diffuser, they suggest that the water level will be up to here. Without the diffuser, it's going to go up to here. I'm going to talk about that later. So the last two parts for this is their tray. Pretty standard tray. It's also screwable. And the top part, forgot what it's called, it's also screwable. Which means that aside from this is the only other hookah that can get the matte pair, matte killer, watch out Matt Descent, on this, because the matte killer is a screw-on type of molasses killer or molasses catcher. So there you go. The bowl grommet is also, you know, perfectly fit. It doesn't seem to have disintegrated or deteriorated in the past times I've used it, and it's been used a lot of times also in the lounge that I borrowed this from. Here is the base, whatever you want to call it. Got the water level up to here, which is exactly where they recommend for the diffuser line. And I'm gonna have it over here so that you can all see its true beauty. There's still one last part I have to fix up on this, which is the hose, but before that I'm just gonna put the bowl I got already. So my bowl for this video is actually the 80 feet 80 with the trifecta BDS, which stands for back door sluts. And it's the first time I'm gonna smoke this. As you see, it's freshly opened. So here we go. The bowl is here with the Phoenix HMD and 4 Filipino coals. And here we go. Surprise for you guys. Boom. Here's the hose. So their hose is, I don't know, I guess standard length. I don't know what the standard length for a hose is. The diameter is also standard. It's not as thick as the Mei Mei. It's not as thin as the hoop, so I guess it's the more standard type. And the beautiful thing with this is that it is easy again. What I love about hoses like these, it's easy to plug and play with. It's easy to just slide it in there. I mean, not super easy that, you know, it's gonna slide out, but it's easy enough that you can slide it in, take it out without having to stress about it that much. The handle itself, you're gonna see here with the Avion, is that like the Mei Mei or the Mamai, it has a handle port that you can safely place on the hookah itself. And one thing I want to add right away is that unlike the Mei Mei, the Avion is stable enough that the grommet and everything on the heart is stable enough that it doesn't shake when you carry it out around with the hose on the port. Now that's a plus point for the Avion for me. Okay, so here you go. So it's a little bit hard. I mean, it's not the easiest thing in the world to put the hose port here. And one thing I don't know if you guys already know, it's a patented magnet system. So you don't need to do anything at all. It's a magnet system for the port here. I just place this here. There you go. So I talked with Stas Zotov. I think he's the owner of Avion, and he told me a little bit about the hookah itself. So the magnet port is patented, apparently, even though Matt Pear also has magnet ports. I guess it's a different type of magnet port. The hookah itself actually comes with a reserve magnet already for the port. So it lasts, you know, a bit longer than usual because magnets do wear out. I mean, I haven't encountered a magnet that wore out already, but I don't really permanently own a hookah with a magnet port yet. And also the vertical purge going up here is also patented. So I guess the specific design that they have here is patented. So you'll see later the smoke column that I'm gonna make with the Avion. So one thing that Stas also wanted to say was that they designed the purge so that it will not hit anyone's face when you purge it out, because I guess it goes up, it doesn't go to a specific direction, so when you're with other people, it's for sure not gonna directly hit anyone. So that's it for the owner side of things. From the consumer side of things, one thing that I can say is that I've seen it in a lot of the groups, a lot of people talking about it, is the downside of the hookah itself is not the unit itself, it's not the quality of the hookah itself, but instead it's with the service. So the service is kind of iffy because I think they make it as ordered. They don't produce it and then sell it by batch. They get the orders and then produce it afterwards. So because of that, the orders, right now there's an order for the American consumers that's already been waiting for 3 months. Here in the Philippines, this got here in like about 7 months. So just give it about 7 or 8 months. That's really the time period. A certain someone also wanted me to mention that the payment is only by Western Union. So I don't know if you guys really have a preference over that. Maybe always pay by PayPal, but Western Union is going to be the payment as of this video. You'll check the description down below on what the date is, but that is going to be the payment as of this time. You can't see here, but of course the middle part is already fully smoked in the base, and this is a perfect opportunity to show you guys the perch. So here we go. One breath. One breath. I don't know if you saw that, but one thing that I liked seeing from the DMZ review with Travis Leader before was he did a special kind of purge with it, which is getting enough smoke inside and then inhaling another round just to purge it out even more. So you'll see the column of smoke hopefully. So that's that. That's the special thing with the with a purge. Again, it's not supposed to hit anyone's face, which is something that would be disturbing for some people, I guess. And that's like the main niche of the Avion is the purge. I guess the purge is really something that different companies really try to be creative at. I'd like to start from the bottom. So from the bottom, the base is okay. Me and Sasan, we were testing out first, but I don't really know because I don't want to do a drop test with it, but if you just knock on it, you can feel it. You can feel that it is a bit of a thin kind of glass. I don't know if it's glass or whatever, but it's thinner than your normal, your good quality type of bass. So that's one thing to consider when you have the Avion Smart Hookah. Of course, it's going to depend on how careful you are, if it breaks or not. Sometimes, things just happen and, our basses fall down and we just can't, we can't do anything about it if it breaks. So that's one thing to consider again with this, and especially since it is just a grommet type of insert to the bass, there is a chance that it'll fall off if you hold it by the stem itself. Next from that, I want to talk about the diffuser. So again, as you saw, there were lines for water levels for the diffuser and the no diffuser. For me, it's actually a bit high. Right now, I can still hear some rumble from it. Yep, there's definitely some rumble from it. So I actually prefer to put the water levels right where the diffuser screws in, because that's still enough to cover all of the holes and make sure that there's no part where the smoke can escape and give you hot smoke. Because really the primary purpose of the water in the bass, at least from what I know, is that it will cool down the smoke that you get from the hookah itself, especially when you're smoking high heat like this with 4 coals. So that's something to consider again. So aside from that, the build quality is nice. It is, again, it's something that we like to say here in the Philippines, especially when it comes to cooking food, is that it is worth the wait. At least for me, it's a bit worth the wait. If you have, if you already have a hookah of your own, you don't have to really worry about getting a new hookah. Then you can wait for it if you so desire. The build quality is nice. You can wash it all down. You can make sure that there's no rust that builds up at the threads, especially. One thing though that I noticed is that I don't have a small enough of a brush, but I couldn't really clean out the middle parts of the Perch valves or the hose valves. So that's one thing also, especially with the small holes with the Perch. I don't know if it's that easy to clean or if there might be any buildup of some gunk in the future. Now I want to talk about the draw. So how open is the Avion Smart Hookah? I'm gonna say it is almost at the level of one of the most open types of hookahs that there is. So it's almost there, not the most open again, but it's really just almost there. So again, if it's really preference for people. I'm kind of actually smoking this, I realized that I'm more of a type of a sort of restricted type of person where I like to feel like I'm inhaling some kind of smoke, because when you're smoking something as open as this or even more open, sometimes it feels like you're just inhaling air, and that just takes away from the experience for me. But I don't know with you guys. Again, that's something that you would have to consider for your own benefit. And next on, we want to talk about the hose. So the hose, as you see, I think I mentioned this in my Meme Customs review. Check it out if you want. The hose itself is very much of a soft touch matte type of hose. So it's very nice to hold onto. It's really nice to feel out, and it is thick enough that you don't need springs here on the edge to make sure that it doesn't bend. I like it in that aspect. The magnet is also nice because you just have to put it in. There's no smoke leak when you purge it out, so that means when you're inhaling also there's no air that's going in. At least I'm hoping in that sense. And also the handle holder is nice. It really perfectly fits on the Avion, so you don't have to worry about it falling out of the handle holder. And lastly, I want to talk about the handle itself. So I don't know if they're like the other brands, because of course again they make this by the order. So I don't know if you can order a longer handle, but for me this is again too short of a handle. I like to hold it now here, so I guess the handle for me would be this long for a perfect handle, because holding it here, it's really super short. I think it's shorter than the Meme Customs, which is a big negative for me. So I don't like holding it like this. It's like, I don't know, just super short. It's not comfortable. I always have to hold my arm high just to smoke it if I wanted to smoke it from here. So going up now, we are going to talk about the tray. I mean, it's a normal tray again. There's nothing special about it. There isn't that much of a ridge to it or any texture to it where you can make sure that the ash falls off, and then you're left with the freshly unashed coal when you take it out. But that's another thing that sometimes it's okay for other people with that. Sometimes there are other people who want it more ridges, more places to make the ash fall off, like the B2 tray with it, which I have not tried yet, but I've seen it has like a separation between the tray itself and some place to fall the ash on. And one thing that is probably going to be a negative for some people is that since the bowl part is screwed in, so the tray is put in between the stem and the bowl port, so that would mean that you cannot just take out the tray, take out the ash. If ever you've been smoking this for the whole day, maybe 2 or 3 sessions, and then you got too much ash there, that's gonna be a negative for some people. So next on, I want to mention again that since the bowl purge is screwable, that would mean it's the only other type of hookah, at least that we are aware of, that would be able to take in the pear mat killer, which is a molasses catcher, molasses killer. If you're into those types of things, this is another hookah that would be good for that. If you're not, then it won't really matter. So that's it for that. I guess that's it for the review. Just to cap it off, it's a good hookah. It performs well. It's nicely built. It's like the MIG, which people always love. It's built nicely in I guess in that fashion, which means that it's gonna last long, at least for the hookah itself. I don't know for the magnets. And it's gonna look beautiful on your display if you ever wanna just have it just out there for people to see whenever they come to your house. It's gonna be nice to have on your collection. Just have to be reminded of the negatives, which is the service itself. I don't know if there's any negatives yet on any problems if you ever get the hookah and then you have something that you have to replace, or something that came wrong when you got the hookah, but I don't know about that yet. So if any of you have any experiences with it, just hit me up on the comments down below. If you already have the hookah itself, tell me if you like it. Tell me if I said something that you don't agree with, or if you're already ordering the hookah, tell me how long you've been waiting for it, because I really want to know, and so at least other people who are gonna buy will know, and hopefully the service part can be fixed in the future. Good luck to Saz and his company with Avion. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, hit the thumbs up down below. That really helps me out with my YouTube channel. And of course, if you're not subscribed yet, this is the perfect time to do so. I upload all the Shisha videos every Saturday, or hookah videos, whatever you want to call them. And of course, hit the notification bell as well so you can be notified on my future videos, because that's what YouTube wants us to do. And last but not least, share this video with all of your beautiful friends, and see you guys next week. Bye-bye. So if you guys like the video, be sure to check out my video next week, which is going to be a review on the Phoenix HMD version 2. And yeah, I'm going to make it actually after I make this video right now. So see you guys then. Keep smoking.